All right, let's talk Miami Dolphins here for a little bit. Look, obviously at 6-8 at the time of this video, the season has not gone the way Dolphins fans, of course, hope it's gone. There's some rumors circulating about some big moves potentially coming down the pike for the Miami Dolphins. One in particular involves none other than head coach Mike McDaniel and a potential coaching change there. Interesting stuff. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, this Dolphins team had high expectations coming into the season. They have not met them. When that happens, big things tend to happen. And obviously, the biggest move of all would be to move off of head coach Mike McDaniel. Interesting situation here for the Miami Dolphins because he's done some good things on the field, but the results when they matter most in the big games have been lacking, to put it mildly. We've got an interesting report, and then we'll talk about a little bit more of what this means on the other side. Let's pull up this report. This is courtesy of Bleacher Report. Los Angeles Rams defensive coordinator Chris Shula is a sneaky name to watch among potential head coaching hires this offseason, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported on Wednesday. I haven't heard his name much earlier, but I did enough over the past week that's worth mentioning, Fowler wrote. ESPN's Adam Schefter estimated in November that there would be between 7 and 9 head coaching openings ahead of the 2025 season. We're obviously not there yet. Here's the big kicker here to kind of end the report. Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel signed a 3-year extension ahead of the 2024 season, but ESPN's Dan Graziano reported after Week 14 that some people around the NFL have their eye on Miami and wonder there's a change if things end badly this season. Things ending badly would be, of course, the Miami Dolphins missing the playoffs. Right now, it looks like the Dolphins are trending that way, and the way Mike McDaniel's teams have looked, the soft narrative, unfortunately, it's starting to stick. Can't play in cold weather. 3-15 against teams 500 or better. They ain't going to get it done. We're seeing a lot of rumblings, a lot of reports, a lot of things getting louder and louder that Mike McDaniel could be gone. And I think the Dolphins, they're known for moving off of head coaches. I think they're potentially moving off Mike McDaniel in a few short weeks and moving and going on to hire somebody else to lead this Dolphins team. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on all of this. But first, Miami fans, in the comment section below, what do you think about Mike McDaniel? Do you want the Dolphins to keep him as the head man? Do you want somebody else? If so, let us know who you want to lead the Miami Dolphins. Put them in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on just all these rumors and these kind of reports circulating around about the Dolphins head coaching area?
Yannick, I don't want the Miami Dolphins to keep Mike McDaniel, and I'm going to tell you why. I think, first of all, he's done some good stuff on the offensive side of the ball, but to be honest with you, they should have done good stuff on the offensive side of the ball. They go out, they get guys like Tyreek Hill, they have Jalen Waddle, they keep Tua, they go out and draft guys like Devon Achane, get really good pieces all around the ball. So there should be good things on this offensive side of the ball. Not to say they also got guys like Johnny Smith. They get Brewer, the offensive lineman from the Titans, who has been doing really well at the center position this year. So I think they had to have done good things, but it's not good enough. And then the flip side of that is most of it is due to injury. But if you can't win and you have a team that's built to win on the offensive side of the ball, it's not good enough to say, oh, we have an injury here, because it seems like the last 3 years the Dolphins have had injuries. Flip side, this year, they say, okay, we've built the offensive side of the ball. This is the side of the ball that we're really going to get into. Let's build the defensive side of the ball and have a lot of weapons over there. So the last few years, they've gone out, they got guys like Jalen Ramsey, they get Calais Campbell in here, they get linebackers, they get safety Jordan Poyer on here. They've really beefed up the defensive side of the ball. And what has it produced in the last 3 years? The worst defensive ranking the Dolphins have had in the last 3 years per PFF. I believe last year it was 16. The year before that, last year they were in top of the NFL. 2 years ago it was 16. This year they are 18th in the NFL per PFF defensive grades overall. So I think we're just seeing overall, this is a team that spent a lot on the defense side of the ball. They spent a lot on the offensive side of the ball. And we're not seeing the result of first round bow out 2 years ago in 2022. Another first round bow out last year versus the Chiefs. Like you said, the soft narrative, cold weather game. Everyone talked about it. And some people would be like, that's just hoopla. It doesn't matter. It's all noise. Well, it is, unless it keeps happening, unless you keep losing. Then it's not just noise anymore. Then that's when there's merit to the rumors. Now, I think all this is interesting. I think pair that with, obviously, Chris Shula has some merits with the team, dad being Dolphins legend. him being a really good defensive coach, as I said, the offensive side of the ball is already built up. So if you get a somewhat competent offensive coordinator in here, there's a lot of really great weapons on the offense. And it's not saying anyone can run a successful offense for the Dolphins, but I'm saying it's looking really good. You bring a defensive guy, this is a team that can really win now in the next couple of seasons. So I think head coaching change might just be the answer for the Dolphins' problems, because if you look at this Dolphins team, there's really no excuses on either side of the ball for this team to be doing as bad as they are.
I disagree with one thing you said there. I don't think the Dolphins are in win now the next couple of seasons. I think 2025 is really their last chance to really win, because this roster right now is in a lot of trouble. Going into 2025, they have the fourth lowest cap space out of anyone in the National Football League, with the sixth oldest roster. So they're old, they're injury prone, they don't have a lot of cap space. They got a quarterback that's dealing with a number of concussions. They're in a division over the past 3 years or so that's been very weak. The Jets are a dumpster fire. The Patriots have been a total rebuild. They've been absolutely terrible. And despite that, the Dolphins can't make moves. They're in an AFC that's really top heavy, but not as deep as it's been in years past. And despite that, Mike McDaniel cannot break through and win the big games when it really matters. I agree with you. I think the Dolphins are in a tough position, but I think they need to move off of McDaniel. I think this is a teetering football team. I think it gets to a point maybe after 2025 where their roster just completely bottoms out with age and cap issues, and they have to do a total rebuild. Or they're one unfortunate, God forbid, a concussion away from going 2-15 because their quarterback position is such a debacle. The reality is Mike McDaniel came into the fold to be, hey, listen, I'm going to take care of Tua. You surround him with weapons. You go all in with me and Tua. We're going to go after championships. And he failed to deliver. Nothing against him. He won a lot of games. That's not what it's about. Mike McCarthy with the Dallas Cowboys is a great example. He had 3 straight 12-win seasons, right? The Cowboys more than likely are going to move off of him this season, barring something really surprising. The reality is, when you're brought in as the head coach, you're given certain expectations and standards. McDaniel was there to come in, number one, to work well with Tua, which he did. I'll give him that. But number two, to put this team consistently in big games and to win them for the first time in 24 years. How often do I have to say that? It was the year 2000 or after the 2000 season where the Dolphins were winning playoff games. It's been that long. McDaniel came in from the Shanahan tree to help do with that. He has failed in that effort. I think it's time to make the move. Like it's tough to say because he has a good record and he's a very smart guy. It's just not working. You'd rather make the move too early than too late, and then you're just stuck in a long-term rebuild. And look, the Dolphins are known for moving off of coaches early. They've done that basically virtually every single coach for the past 20, 30 years or so. So moving off Mike McDaniel early would actually be on brand for Miami, and I think they do it. These reports that we're hearing are going to just get louder and louder, and I think the last report is only a few weeks away when the Dolphins move off of Mike McDaniel.